Hello students, welcome to my subject Morphology and Syntax. Our course code is English 262 and it's our lecture number 19. Today we are talking about class and its types. The outlines are, first of all, we need to know what is a class, its types, independent class, types of dependent class, adjective class, adverb class, and noun class. These are the subtypes of dependent class. What is a class? A class is a combination of related words containing a subject and a verb. It can be a simple sentence or a part of a compound sentence. Or we can say that it is a part of a sentence that contains a subject and a predicate. A class is a group of related words containing a subject and a verb. It is a meaningful combination of words as it can alone express a complete thought. A class can be a simple sentence, hence class is also sometimes defined as group of words having a subject and predicate. For example, he laughed, they played cricket, we play chess, they eat mangoes, are clauses, simple clauses having a subject and a predicate. It can also be said that each sentence consists of at least one clause. Here are some of the examples. The patient died. Here we got one clause. Another example, I waited for him, but he didn't come. We got two clauses connected with a coordinating conjunction but. Clause 1 in clause 2. In both of these are independent clauses. A coordinating conjunctions give us two independent clauses is compound sentence. We call it compound sentences where two independent clauses used. A third example, I'm going to college because I want to meet my friend. Here, I'm going to college one class, comma, because I want to meet my friend. I want to meet my friend is another class. But here we have got a subordinating conjunction because that gives us a dependent class. So I'm going to college is an independent class. The part where we are having a subordinate conjunction, that is called dependent class. Class 1 is independent, class 2 is independent class. My brother likes biology and I like math. My brother likes biology, class 1, and I like math, class 2. We have got another class because I want to become an engineer. So here we got three classes. The first two classes are connected with a coordinating conjunction. In the last one, we are having a subordinate conjunction. So here, the two are independent classes and one dependent class. Class 3 is the dependent class. Class types. IC is independent class, DC is dependent class. What is a dependent class? And what is an independent class? The main class or independent class is that class which expresses a complete meaning and it alone can stand as a sentence. A class that expresses a complete thought and can stand alone. For example, a vase will read his poem. I saw a man. The professor asked many questions. I met a friend. They contacted the customer. He does not like the people. We met a man. Are some of the examples of independent class. Many people enjoy poetry. He explained the poem well. Now, grammatically complete statements like these are sentences and can stand alone. When they are part of longer sentences, they are referred to as independent or main clauses. An independent clause can stand by itself and still make sense. It can be its own sentence or be part of a larger one. Ali plays tennis is a simple sentence as a simple clause. Ali plays tennis but Ashir reads a book. Compound sentence. Every sentence is a clause but not every clause is a sentence. By a comma in little conjunction in, but, or, nor, for, yet, and sometimes so, as we explained in the last lecture about coordinating conjunctions. The coordinating conjunctions give us independent clauses. By a semicolon by itself, or by a semicolon accompanied by a conjunctive adverb as we explained it in the last lecture. However, moreover, nevertheless, as a result, consequently, therefore, otherwise are some of conjunctive adverbs that can give us independent clauses. And of course, independent clauses are often not connected by punctuation at all but are separated by a period. Dependent clause, a clause that cannot stand by itself. We call it subordinate clause or dependent clause. That clause which is alone part cannot express a complete meaning. It alone cannot stand as a sentence because it depends on the other clause, the independent clause, to give a complete meaning. It serves a subordinate role in the sentence. A subordinate clause trying to stand by itself would be a sentence fragment. Subordinate clauses are sometimes called dependent clauses. For example, I saw a man who was crying. I saw a man is an independent clause. Who was crying is dependent. I met a man who could speak many languages. Who could speak many languages? The underlined part is the dependent clause. I get up early in the morning because I want to stay active. I want to stay fit. Because I want to stay active is the dependent clause here. Because I said so. I is the subject, said is the verb. When I was 5, I subject was verb. Since it will rain today, it subject will rain verb. Who is my best friend? Not written as a question. Who subject is a verb. If you pass the test, you subject and pass is the verb. Here we got subordinate conjunctions because when, since, who, if, after, the are subordinate conjunctions to form dependent clauses. A subordinate clause has a subject and verb, but unlike an independent clause, cannot stand by itself. It depends on something else in the sentence to express a complete thought, which is why it's also called a dependent clause. Some subordinate clauses are introduced by relative pronouns who, whom, that, which, what, whose, and some by subordinating conjunctions although, because, if, unless, when, etc. And subordinate clauses function in sentences as adjectives, nouns, and adverbs. Now, types of subordinate clauses: adjective clause or relative clause, adverb clause, and noun clause. What is an adjective clause? An adjective clause is a subordinate clause, or we call it a relative clauses. A subordinate clause which acts as an adjective in a sentence is called an adjective clause. Like an adjective, it modifies or it aids information to a noun or pronoun in the sentence. An adjective clause mostly starts with relative pronouns such as that, who, whom, whose, which, or whose, are relative pronouns that give us an adjective clause. It modifies a noun or pronoun, begins with a relative pronoun like who, whoever, whom, or whomever, whose, which, whatever, what, that, where, and when, or sometimes. The examples of adjective clause are I hate the people who waste time. Now here who waste time, that modifies English is the course that my uncle teaches, modifies subject that his uncle teaches. The novel that won the Pulitzer Prize didn't sell well when it was first published. So here, the class that won the Pulitzer Prize didn't sell well modifies the noun, the novel. The ceremony, which several celebrities attended, received widespread media coverage. Now here, the class, the underlying class modifies the noun. Note that in a relative class, the relative pronoun is sometimes the subject of the class is in the following sentence and sometimes the object is in the next sentence. Like Arthur, who comes to the games every week, offered to be scorekeeper. Now, Arthur who comes to the games every week. Now, here the class modifies the noun Arthur. Here, Arthur, whom the team mothers adored, was asked to be scorekeeper. Now, here it modifies, plays the role of an object. Whom? Adverb class. A subordinate class which acts as an adverb in a sentence is called an adverb class. Like an adverb, it modifies a verb, an adjective class, or another adverb class in the sentence. It modifies or it adds information to a verb, action of the main class in terms of time, frequency, like how often, condition, cause and effect and intensity. It mostly uses some of the subordinating conjunctions. Subordinate class, it modifies a verb, adverb, or an adjective, tells how, when, where, why, to what extent, and under what condition, introduced by a subordinating conjunction. It modifies a verb of the main class in terms of time. We are using subordinate conjunctions for time: when, since, after, before, then, soon, by the time, as soon as, until, whenever. It modifies a verb of the main class in terms of cause and effect, is, because, since, now, that, as long as, so that. And it can modify a verb of the main class in terms of contrast, like although, even, whereas, though, while. It can modify the verb of the main class in terms of condition, like if, unless, only, if, whether or not, even, if, providing or provided that, in case, are some of the subordinating conjunction that modify the verb of the main class. Call me when you need my help. Now, here, when you need my help modifies the verb call. Unless you avoid sugar, you can't lose weight. Now, here, unless you avoid sugar modifies the verb lose weight. The patient had died before the doctor reached. Before the doctor reached modifies the verb die. We live a happy life as long as we think positively. It modifies the verb live. He entered the class while the teacher was giving lecture. It modifies the verb enter. A noun class, a subordinate class which acts as a noun in a sentence, is called a noun class. It usually starts with words such as that, what, whatever, who, whom, whoever, whomever. It acts exactly like a noun in a sentence. It can work as a noun either at the place of a subject or an object. A noun class is a subordinate class that functions as a noun. It can do anything a noun can do. Subject, predicate, nominative, direct object is indirect object. Words that introduce noun clauses are how, if, that, what, whatever, when, where, whether, which, who, whoever, whom, whomever, whose, and why. Whatever. What I want for dinner is a hamburger. Subject of the verb is. What I want for dinner is the subject of the verb is. The host told us how he escaped. Direct object of the verb told. A vacation is what I need most. Complement of the linking verb is. Give it to whoever arrives first. Whoever arrives first is the object of the preposition to. Whatever we study increases our knowledge. Noun is a subject. Whatever we study is the noun. Here it plays the role of a noun, which is the subject of the class. What you eat determines your body size. Again, it is the subject of the class. I buy whatever I need. Here, whatever I need is an object. Thank you very much and good luck.